Today, we're going to talk about the top 10 reasons that you're probably not closing any deals as a real estate wholesaler. So, before we get started, just a couple of things. Number one, if you haven't had a chance, please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so that way you can get all the updates every time we upload a new video. And make sure that you click on the bell icon so that way you can get the alerts. If you have not joined our free Skool community, okay, you can go to Skool with a K, SKOOL.DispoDragons.com, Skool.DispoDragons.com, where we have a ton of over-the-shoulder training videos, which we can't share on YouTube, where we walk you through step by step by step how to do what it is that we talk about doing when it comes to investing in real estate and wholesaling the deals that you don't purchase yourself, okay? So let's dive right in. The number 10 reason that you are not closing any deals right now is probably because you don't have a schedule. You haven't committed to a schedule where you work on this every single day and you treat it like a job, and you're working 1 to 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day. And for those of you who have made the leap to work this business full time, if you're working between 5 to 8 hours a day at this, you really need to make sure that you have a schedule and that you adhere, that you stick to that schedule. Think about it. When you had a job before, you went to work when you were tired, when you were sick, when you were hung over. You still went to work. But for some reason in our business, when people feel a little sick or a little tired and they don't want to get out of bed, they'll sleep in, they'll work when they can, they'll take 2-hour lunch breaks, they'll disappear on themselves. And it's the complete opposite of what it was when they had a normal job. At a normal job, you were so scared to lose that job that you went to work. You showed up on time. Sometimes you stayed late, whether you got paid for it or not. But for whatever reason, in this business, when you are in complete control of your own schedule, you'll slack off, right? You won't commit to doing the things that you need to do. So the number 10 reason that you're probably not having any success right now is because you don't have a schedule and you're not adhering to it on a consistent basis. I need you to sell out to your schedule. Can you do that for me? Yes. Number 9, you haven't identified who your target market is or what type of niche you're going to go after first. Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of different types of sellers that you could start targeting when it comes to wholesaling real estate or when it comes to buying real estate as an investor. Now, I interchange the two a lot, and here's why. The best investors are often the best wholesalers. And the reason that they're the best wholesalers is because when they get good at learning how to source their own deals, investors have the opportunity to decide whether or not they want to take down the deal for themselves. They can cherry pick that deal, or they can decide, well, this deal might not be for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign this deal. I'm going to wholesale this deal to another investor or to another buyer. The point is that the best investors typically are also some of the best wholesalers because they know how to get those deals themselves. Now, that being said, what I've discovered is that when someone is brand new, they have a difficult time focusing on which niche they're going to go after. So today they want to work probates. Tomorrow they want to work foreclosures. Now I'm going to go after tired landlords. Now I'm going to go after tax liens. Wait a minute, I better go after the code violations now. Where can I get a list of code violations? And so they're all over the place. You need to just pick one niche. Find out what your target market is going to be. Focus on that target market until you understand it like the back of your hands. Make sure that you become an expert at that market. If you're going to become an expert on for sale by owners, on sourcing those deals on for sale, on Fizbo, on Zillow, on Redfin, on whatever it might be, on Craigslist, on Facebook Marketplace, whatever it is, if you're going to focus on those type of sellers, then make sure that you give it enough time for you to become an expert at it before you go and you bounce over to another niche. It's really easy to want to go from one target market to another when you're seeing all these people all on the internet talking about all the money they're making, targeting probates, and now they're doing door knocking with foreclosures. Whatever it is, I don't care. Commit to it and do it for the next 90 days minimum until you've actually mastered it and seen some results. Number 8, you're not asking for help. All right, so let me explain what this is like. This is like working out just so that you can go to the gym because you're embarrassed about what you look like, right? You want to have some success before you actually go out and ask for help or seek out a mentor or find a JV partner when it's backwards. You should actually be seeking out a JV partner or a mentor first so that they can help you fast track yourself to success, as opposed to you taking the long way and trying to figure out all this stuff out on your own and making all the mistakes that we've already made for you. So don't be afraid to ask for help. The ones who succeed the quickest are always the ones who go out and seek the mentors that they need in order to help them get from point A to point B. Number 7, you treat every deal as a cash offer deal. All right. Now, this is a mistake that a lot of people, including myself, have made. Even the veterans and the best of the best in this business have made this mistake. We treat every deal like it's a cash offer where we should be offering 55 to 60 cents on the dollar just so that we could find a fix and flip buyer to sell this to. Not every property, not every deal is a fix and flip deal. They're just not. You can't assume that you're going to be able to offer everybody pennies on the dollar and have them want to work with you. It's not going to work out that way. There are plenty of properties that are not fixer-uppers, and yet the sellers are still motivated. And depending on what their circumstances are, you can convert those into subject to transactions. You can convert those into seller financing transactions. You can convert those into novation deals, right? So you have to understand that for every deal, there is a different possible exit strategy, and it's your responsibility for you to be able to distinguish which is going to be the best exit strategy for every deal. Now, if it's a fixer-upper, right, and it's in really bad shape, then yes, it would make sense to want to offer them 50, 60, 70 cents on the dollar and then assign it to a flipper or take it down yourself and fix and flip it yourself. Now, if it's an in-between property, these are those properties that, they're not fixer-uppers, but they're not completely remodeled either. They're right in between. They're still livable, but they're just dated, right? They're just old. They don't look nice. Well, that's an in-betweener property. There are still plenty of buyers that would want to buy that property, live in the property, and fix it up slowly as they enjoy it over the next 10 to 30 years, right? Those deals are the ones that are ripe for novations, which is where you work with the seller and you get their authorization, either it be through the contract or through a limited power of attorney that allows you to hire and fire an agent so that you can put the property on the market, on the MLS, and find an end buyer, a retail end buyer who's going to live in the property and fix it up while they enjoy it. That's a typical novation, right? But you can't apply that same strategy to a property that's completely remodeled because the owner has too much pride of ownership in it. And if it's completely remodeled and it looks amazing, why would they want to give you a discount? They want to squeeze every penny out of that property if possible. But what if that property that is in pristine condition, what if it was purchased in the last 3 to 4 years? Well, that property would probably make a pretty good subject to deal, right? As long as the numbers make sense, as long as the interest rates make sense, as long as the long-term rental or midterm rental tenants make sense, that could be a great subject to deal, but you don't know until you understand all of the possible exit strategies. And again, that's where having a joint venture partner or a mentor goes a long way, because they'll be able to help you distinguish which deal or which exit strategy is most applicable to this deal, as opposed to you just thinking that you're going to make all cash offers on every deal and then getting frustrated when you're being told to pound rocks or to pound sand. Number 6, You got shiny object syndrome, but this time it's not about the target market. This time it's about which strategy you're going to use. So we talked about it earlier where you're having a difficult time focusing on which niche, which target seller you're going after. Now it's about which strategy are you going to use to target those sellers that you want to approach. So there's a whole bunch of different strategies that you can use, right? There's cold calling, there's SMS marketing, there's email marketing, there's PPL, pay per lead, there's PPC, pay per click. Sorry, I just had a lapse there. There's also outreach, right, through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. There's every different strategy imaginable. And here's what happens. Again, you start one, you don't stick to it long enough to see any of the results. Mailers is a perfect example of one. I was just having a conversation with someone about mailers, and they were wondering what they should do. If they should send out, 2,500 pieces to 2,500 homes over the next 12 weeks, or send out one piece to like 15,000 homes using a shotgun effect. And I explained to them that the best thing to do is to start out with as small a farm, as small a neighborhood as possible, maybe even 500 or 700. Your list, make your target list about 700 names, and then hitting those people with a mailer piece every single week for the next, 15, 20 weeks, right? Because the average person isn't going to actually respond until they see a message for at least 7 to 10 times. So that is another example of how if you don't stick to a particular strategy long enough, you won't see the results of it. So you got to get out of the shiny object syndrome, and you have to make sure that you pick one strategy, you commit to the strategy. And listen, for every person that says the strategy that you're working or the strategy that you want to try doesn't work, there's going to be another person that is going to say that they are making multiple six figures, if not millions, using that exact same strategy. Some people are going to say mailers don't work, and then you've got other people making millions every year relying strictly on mailers. Some people are going to say purchasing leads doesn't work, and then you've got other people making $750,000 every year just on paper leads, right? So again, for every person that I can find that says that one strategy doesn't work, I'll find somebody else that does say that strategy worked, and the only difference is they committed to it long enough to make sure that they mastered it when they use it. So whatever strategy you're going to use, master it, commit to it, attack it over the next 90 days. Number 5, I see this all the time. Overpricing properties and underpricing repairs. When you are comping your property, you don't want to, and this is not going to be a lesson on how to comp. I'm not going to go into that today, but I see wholesalers, even veteran wholesalers sometimes do this, where they overprice the property. They see one comp that has sold hundreds of thousands of dollars higher than everybody else, and then they stick to that one comp, and then they try to find other comps to support that price. That's not going to work. Okay, it's better for you to be conservative, underprice your estimate of what the ARV, the after repaired value, is going to be. Underprice it. I'm not saying, be stupid about it, but I'm just saying be conservative, right? Underprice it so that when an investor sees it, it becomes even more attractive to them. And make sure that when it comes to repairs, you overprice the repairs, okay? Now, again, this isn't going to be a lesson on comping or a lesson on how to come up with the cost to repair. I've done other videos where I use a $25, $45, $75 per square foot estimate based on those repairs. But you need to make sure that you underestimate the ARV and overestimate the cost to repair, because it is going to make it more attractive to the investors that you present the opportunity to. More importantly, if you are always bringing bad deals, right, to these investors, what will happen is it's just going to become a nuisance to them, and they're going to stop responding to you. They're going to ignore all your deals. It's going to be like the boy who cried wolf, right? What happened was that boy kept saying that, there was a wolf, and then when the wolf really did show up, nobody believed him anymore. And it's going to be the same thing here. You keep saying, I've got a deal, I've got a deal, I got a deal. when they're really not deals because you're overpricing them and underpricing repairs. And then what happens is when you do get a legitimate good deal, those same investors that you went to aren't going to look at it. So make sure that you're conservative on the ARV and you overestimate what the repairs are going to be so that it can be attractive to the buyers and the investors that are looking at them. Number 4, poor negotiating skills. Now, this is something that is only going to be learned by A, being in the trenches, talking to sellers every single day and learning how to overcome objections, and B, by practicing your scripts. Many of you don't want to practice your scripts. You say, I don't want to sound like a robot. You say, I'm not an entertainer. You say all types of crazy things every time I suggest using a script. And here's the reality. Professionals use scripts. All professionals use scripts. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, CPAs use scripts. Now, you may not realize that these are scripts, but what they're doing is they're saying the same thing over and over and over again, and it's become second nature to them so that it doesn't appear as if it's a script, but they are scripts. They are repeating the same thing to you as a patient when you walk into their office or into their examination room, and maybe it's not in the form of statements, maybe it's in the form of questions, but they are using the exact same approach, which is in itself a script, even though they are questions. When they approach you, when they talk to you, right? Attorneys do the exact same thing. Many attorneys have a strategy that they use when they are in front of a judge or in front of a jury, and it's become, some of their signature moves when they do it. That doesn't just happen on a whim. That happens from them practicing, drilling, and rehearsing every single day. And so it's important that you do the exact same thing. Master your scripts because they will help you become a better negotiator. They will help you learn how to overcome objections. And if you don't practice those scripts enough, you won't know how to negotiate a better price. You won't know how to negotiate better terms for yourself. So, number 4, negotiating. You have to become better at negotiating. It's all right. Don't worry. I'll just edit it out. Go ahead. Go. Number 3, you're busy, but you're not productive. Okay, this is very important because for some of you who are working this business part-time, you're going to be coming home from a job and you're going to have either early mornings or late evenings. So let's say that you work a 9 to 5, you get home at 6, you want to work this business from 6:30 to maybe 8:30 or from 6:30 to 9. And so you have 2 to 2.5 hours to actually build your real estate investing, build your real estate wholesale business. And so during those 2 to 2.5 hours that you're working, you have to make sure that you are as productive as possible. And so I will say that even though it's important for you to learn and study and master this business, that doesn't mean that you're going to watch YouTube videos, including the one that you're watching right now, for 2.5 hours. Okay? There is a difference between being busy and being productive, right? So organizing your desk, that's busy. Talking to sellers, that's productive. Setting goals for yourself, that's busy. Sending out outbound messages through Facebook Messenger, that's productive. Okay, there's a difference. Organizing your desk, right? So that you got to make sure that your desk is organized so that you have a clean space to work on. Busy. Sending out text messages, productive, right? So I don't know why I'm having like a lapse here as I discuss this. I'm trying to find other busy. I got it. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to keep this in the video too. Social media. Creating posts for social media, that's productive. Scrolling through social media, that's busy and a waste of time. So I think you get the feel, you get a feel for what it is that I'm trying to say. You have to distinguish the difference between busy work and being productive and what is going to actually produce you income. And producing you income is you doing things like outbound messaging, outbound marketing, talking to people, sending out offers. Those are the things that are going to make you money. Talking to investors, okay? So number 3 is distinguishing between being productive and being busy. Number 2, piggybacking on number 3, you haven't mastered an outbound marketing strategy. Now, there's a difference between outbound and inbound, and we're not going to go into a huge lesson on this, but a lot of us, are used to doing outbound marketing strategies. And what is outbound? That is us picking up the phone, talking to people. That is us sending outbound SMS marketing, text messages. That is us sending out emails to people. That is us sending DMs, direct messages through Messenger, through Instagram to people. That is outbound marketing. Now, there's a difference between outbound and inbound. Inbound is pay per lead. Inbound is pay per click. Inbound is advertising, right? That's inbound marketing strategies, and those are great. But here's the thing. When you have mastered outbound marketing strategies, it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if Facebook goes down. It doesn't matter if TikTok goes down. It doesn't matter if your ads or your ad account is shut down. When you've mastered outbound marketing strategies, you can literally do this business with anywhere with $0. You just have to go out there and work. Okay. Oh, I forgot door knocking. Door knocking is another excellent outbound marketing strategy. Canvassing. So keep in mind that you need to master outbound marketing strategies so that if there is ever a moment where the advertising money dries up, or you just find yourself in a position where you can't do those passive inbound marketing strategies, that you know how to do outbound first, just so that you have something that you can always fall back on. It's, when I learned to drive, my father taught me how to drive stick shift first, because that way it would be easier for me to drive automatic. Same thing here. Yes, when you have marketing dollars, when you have advertising dollars that you can throw at this business, it's like adding fuel, kerosene to the fire. But when you don't, and you've mastered outbound marketing strategy, it's like knowing how to drive stick shift before automatic. Okay, same principle. Make sure that you master outbound marketing strategy. Okay, the number one reason that you are not closing any deals is because you're not sending out enough offers. That's the number one reason, okay? You're not sending out enough offers. If you are not sending out at least one offer per day, then you're just doing an injustice to yourself. Now, when I say you're not sending out enough offers, here's where people get confused. They think I'm talking about sending out a 1 to 2 page offer, or if you're going after on-market properties, you're sending out a 7 to 10 page offer, who knows, depending on the state. And the reality is that's not true. Offers can, in fact, be text message offers, email offers, verbal offers over the phone. You're just communicating an offer. We're not talking about you necessarily filling out contracts all day long or one contract per day. All I'm saying is make offers, shoot your shot, send the offer out. If you get rejected, you get rejected. And if they accept it, fantastic. But here's the reality. If you aren't sending out enough offers, you're not going to get enough acceptances. And you know what? What's the worst thing they could say? The worst thing that they could say is no. Maybe they'll give you a counter, or maybe the best case scenario is they'll say yes. But you don't have those opportunities because you're not sending out enough offers, which is also another form of outbound marketing. So you need to get good at not being afraid of shooting your shot, of making that offer. When you're communicating with somebody via text and you've done your numbers and you've researched it and you know that the maximum allowable offer on that property is going to be something like $400,000. Don't be afraid to send them a text and say, "Hey, would you look at an offer $400,000? That's really the most that I can offer right now." And wait and see what they say. People become paralyzed when it comes to making offers. I want you to get used to just sending out offers, not being afraid of offending the seller, and hearing what they say. Because here's the reality. The reality is, if the seller is stuck on a price, let's just say, going back to that example of $400,000, if the seller is stuck on $475,000 and you offer them $400,000, do you really think that the difference between $350,000 and $400,000 is going to have an impact on how they respond? No. So my attitude is send them an offer of $350,000 and see how they respond to that. Let them work you up to $400,000, right? It's not the different. If they're going to say no, they're going to say no anyway. So you might as well shoot your shot. Make the offers. Get used to making offers on a daily basis and detaching yourself away from the outcome and hoping that they'll counter. And if they counter, great, maybe you have something. So the number one reason that you're not closing any deals is because you're not making enough offers. And more importantly, those offers that you might be making, you're probably making them too high, so you're overpricing the offer and you're underpricing the repairs. All right. So I'm glad that we covered these top 10. Hopefully they help you out and they help you in your business as a real estate investor and as a real estate wholesaler. Now, if it did, if you saw value in this video, here's what I need from you. What I need from you is I need you to share this video. I need you to give me a thumbs up. I need you to give me some comments. Tell me what was the most valuable lesson that you got from this video. I want you to let me know if there's any other things that you think we should be covering, any additional content that you'd like to see from me and from us. And I'd like for you to share it with somebody else who needs to see it. We all know of other people that have expressed, that they might need help, or that they're not having success, or they might be on their last leg before they decide they're about to quit this business, or they're about to quit this profession. I know this profession works for the people that commit to it and that respect it and that treat it like a profession. I know this business works. I've seen it in my own life and I've seen it in the lives of others. And so, if you know someone that's ready to throw in the towel, they're ready to quit, they just need a little bit of guidance, share this video with them, right? We offer this content to you for free, and all that I ask is that you, in the form of payment, you repay us back by sharing it with someone that needs to see it. Now, the last thing, and I say this all the time, I published a book on Amazon. It is called Deal Like a Dove, Dispo Like a Dragon. Deal Like a Dove, Dispo Like a Dragon. You can find it on Amazon. It is in paperback. Audible has finally been approved and it's going to be coming out soon on Audible. Please make sure you go out there, purchase the book, download the Audible, make sure you listen to it, give me a rating on Amazon, and I would love feedback on it as well. Also, make sure that you join our Skool Community, skool.dispodragons.com, skool.dispodragons.com, and participate there. Introduce yourself. Let us know how we can help you as a community, how we can help you succeed. Because when you succeed, we succeed together as a profession, and that's what we want to hear. All right. Thank you for watching this video. I'll talk to you soon.